It's not a movie based on the game. It's a movie that it's like this central character is actually playing the game. All right, what's up, everybody? So this is my review of the new Resident Evil movie trailer that dropped, directed by Cregger. And just by that alone, I'm in. I'm in. Weapons was just one of my favorite movies that came out, let alone horror movies that breaks through. It happens occasionally with me because I am not a horror movie fan at all. But with Weapons, it hit, and it really made me pay attention to who this guy is. I haven't seen Barbarian, but anyone who can put together and deliver a movie like Weapons, you got something, and not just in the horror movie genre, but also just in directing in general. And if you're going to give him the reins to this particular video game franchise and movie franchise, regardless of what you think of it, I don't think much of the franchise that came out in the early 2000s, starring Mila Jovovich. I watched the first one in the movie theater, did not have fun with it, and then I caught the second one when it came out on TV and was even more annoyed that I stuck around as long as I did. So when I heard that they were making a Resident Evil movie, I'm like, okay, here we go again with Hollywood and the reboots and the remakes and the reimaginings or whatever. But then I heard that Cregger was attached to it. And then I was like, okay, now you got my curiosity. Now I want to know. And now that I've seen not only the trailer itself, which looks really interesting in the sense of, even though I saw the game being played, I didn't even play it when I was coming up. I was in high school when I first learned of the games. And I had some friends that were really obsessed with it. At that point, I was just not really into video games anymore. But I saw them playing it, but I was like, oh, okay, this is your thing. But I always knew that it was something that a lot of people loved and were really into. And so that's kind of why I tuned in to the franchise to begin with. And with this one, there's no one from the game. There's no character from the game. There is, like, the storyline from the game doesn't even seem to be addressed. There's no big bad guy like there is in some of the games. And Cregger himself has said that he wanted it to take place within the world of Resident Evil. And he said how it's running parallel with the events that happened in the second Resident Evil game. So, okay, sure. But the fact that he's doing a completely different take and not trying to put so many eggs in one basket and make sure that he gets all the aspects of the storyline in the game and then all the elements of the game that people who played it love about it, he's like, all right, I'm going to do something completely different. So I admire that. But he's also a lover of the games because he's played a lot of them. But he's talked about particularly number 4. And there's a couple things that he's added in the movie that if you play the game, then you can kind of go along for the ride, particularly the whole thing with guns. As you level up in the game, you get access to a different firearm, and then you have to learn how to use them, and then you have to use them effectively to survive. So that's a component within there. Also keys are apparently a really big thing, and you have to go through so much to get these keys to a certain door, and then hopefully actually open the door and get to safety for a brief amount of time before you're encountering the next kind of danger. And so I like how he's adding these little particular aspects of the game, but not trying to recreate everything from the game. And I think that's something that needs to be explored a little bit more, instead of, trying to go beat for beat with every aspect of a video game and then, making something coherent out of it, because as history has shown us, it's very rarely done well. Just think of the Resident Evil movies and the Uncharted movie and the Lara Croft movies. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what Cregger can do with this. And I'm pretty sure you will too after you see the trailer. Anyways, those are my thoughts. What about you? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.